everyone. Welcome back to Love and Life Sorted. I'm Dr. Sandy Toe, and today we're going to be talking about the 4 different types of women. Okay, so it's worth doing a recap because over the last 9 episodes, we've already covered all of the 4 types, and a lot of you have expressed interests about the specific types, and it's worth doing a recap on this episode. Right. Okay, so first of all, the traditionalist type and the maximizer types, they are of a very similar nature. First of all, the traditionalists, like their goal is marriage, their ultimate goal is marriage. And they also have economic goals. So they don't only want to get married, but they want to find a man who's a main breadwinner type. Okay, so after marriage, they're willing to cut back on their hours or, slow down in their careers or switch to part-time nature or even not work in order to bring up the children and to take care of the household. But that is on the condition that their husbands are main breadwinners and they're bringing back the money. All right, so they're willing to play the domestic role if their husbands are going to be in the breadwinner roles. Okay, so traditional in that they're looking for traditional gender role arrangements within the house, and they're willing to play the domestic role if their husband is a breadwinner. All right, so the maximizers, they're very similar in nature as well because they have like marriage as an ultimate goal and economic goals as well. And it doesn't make, the fact that they're called maximizers, there may be a misinterpretation there. It doesn't mean that they're going to maximize their earnings, in their economic goals compared to the traditionalists. It doesn't mean that they want to maximize their gains from marriage and they need to marry like a super rich man. It doesn't mean that. Not in that sense that they're maximizers, but more in the sense that they're more proactive compared to their traditionalist peers. So both have marriage as an ultimate goal and fulfill economic goals in the marriage, except the traditionalists are less proactive in their strategies. So they say they want a breadwinner husband, but they usually they've either met them at work or at school, or they've fallen upon them somehow, or they've somehow miraculously, very very fortunately, they were introduced to someone like that without their strategizing a lot about it, right? So yeah, so that's lucky for them. So if you've seen my Instagram post about the 4 types, so which type are you? So I have compared this to I've used Jessica Huang from Fresh Off the Boat as the prototype for a traditionalist because she met Louis, her husband, at university. Okay, and so she happened, to have 3 children, and she became a housewife while her husband worked. Okay, so it's a very traditional role, and she was like a very responsible homemaker. And then at the end, though, she actually became a novelist. A published novelist, and then she developed her own career and went back to school and to become like a principal of her son's secondary school. So that was like very edifying, a very edifying example. Traditionalists, you can also, find your own passion pursuits in the end after your stint at being like a stay-at-home mom or a homemaker. Yeah, so all the same. So what makes her traditional, not only because of her traditional household role, but because she didn't actually, she stumbled upon her breadwinning husband and she didn't actively go and find him. But for the maximizers, on the other hand, they're more proactive in their partner choice strategies. Okay, so they're on the lookout for a man who's a traditional breadwinner. And of course, they're willing to cut back on their career, scale back, and take care of the house if they can find a breadwinning man. So how are they more proactive? If they cannot find someone within their domain, within their scope, then they will either ask a lot of people to introduce like a man who's like accomplished than them as them or more accomplished than them to them. Okay, so they have particular requirements in that regard. They will ask around and they will think outside the box. Yeah, so they will date. They're willing to date outside the box in that they will they might be willing to go into cross-cultural relationships. They might date men of a different nationality, of a different ethnicity, so long as they fit their requirement that they're traditional breadwinner types and as high achieving as them in economic status, economic criteria, right? So it doesn't matter the nature of their ethnicity. They're willing to like date outside the box if they can't find a man within their own ethnicity. Okay, so yeah, cross-cultural relationships is totally like within is totally what they would pursue to find equally achieving man. Okay, so another thing is that like maximizers, because of their economic goals in mind in marriage, they're willing to date men who are older because they have more life experience and have accumulated more wealth probably and more there's more security, more job, like more financial security in the relationship and stability because these men are like dependable financially. So they're willing to date older men as long as they fulfill their economic criteria. Okay, even like divorced men, widowed men, yeah, like dating outside the box is their area. Okay, so being like strategic and like to maximize their chances is what it means to be a maximizer. So in my prototypes in Instagram, I have allocated this as Amy March in Little Women. Well, compared to her other sisters, so actually, if I were to do like a prototype comparison within Little Women, that could be done the same too, because like one of her sisters, the eldest one is a traditionalist. She stumbled upon like a relationship with a man who's a breadwinner. Like she's not leading a very luxurious lifestyle, but like they're getting by, and she takes care of the kids. So it's like a very traditional household arrangements. Okay. And while her sister Jo March, is actually more of an innovator. We'll get to that later. But because she, marriage was not her intention in the first place, and she refused a proposal from Laurie, from the guy that eventually Amy snapped up. So yeah, Amy, the little sister, is the maximizer because Laurie is really well off. Okay, so Laurie is rich, and she has always liked the creature comforts and has always had her eye on the like luxurious lifestyle. And she went to Europe to pursue her like artist career, and she's like romantic and like very like sensual, like very opulent, like that's the thing for her. So Amy is proactive in pursuing the lifestyle that she wants. So that makes her a maximizer. Okay, so satisficers, they are also having their eye on marriage. So marriage is also their ultimate goal, no different from traditionalists and maximizers, except economic goals are not their goal. Okay, so they don't need economic gains for the marriage. As last episode, we talked about like women breadwinners, right? So they're the women breadwinners in the marriage, and they have actually actively negotiated that for themselves because they have an especially high expectation for egalitarianism within the marriage. So they are not okay with assuming traditional household roles. They're not okay with forgoing their career to take care of the house. And they're not okay with doing the bulk of the domestic chores. Okay, so they're non-traditional women in that sense. They're like really assertive and really high-powered, and they would rather develop their careers, and they're not going to put that aside for family life. Okay, so that is why they have deliberately chosen a man who's not a traditional breadwinner. So they're sort of taking up the breadwinner role or the main earner role, while their husbands are the ones who are like more laid back, and they're the ones who's taking more care of the house. While they go and develop their careers, okay, and their ambitions. So yeah, satisficers are that's what they makes them different from their traditionalists and maximizer peers, okay? In that they're willing to assume the breadwinner role. And as for prototypes, in my IG prototypes, I've allocated Hermione Granger for this role. Okay, so because she's with Ron, okay, Ron Weasley in Harry Potter, and well, everyone knows that Hermione is the brains, okay, in this couple. Hermione is just like a genius, okay, and she's super smart, super intelligent, and at the end, she became the Minister of Magic. Okay, so that's like the highest you can get in the magical world, the highest status you can get in terms of occupation. So yeah, she's like the Minister of Magic, while Ron is her inferior. So he's actually her subordinate. Yeah, within the ministry. I think he works there too, and he's like her subordinate. And like they're okay with that because I guess entering into this, Hermione was always the dominant one and always the assertive one, and Ron was always the laid back one and the very carefree guy and stuff. So they've known each other for ages since secondary school at Hogwarts, and they know what they're getting themselves into, and they fell in love anyway, right? So it's taken for granted that Hermione is the brains and the power, behind the couple, and Ron is okay with that. Yeah, he's like a laid back guy by nature, isn't he? So yeah, that's great. That worked out fine. So it's important to like find your arrangement, like find your person. Right. So Innovator, I actually had already covered also in one of my episodes about the women who don't want to leave it too late to have children, women who want to take their fertility into their own hands. So innovators, they are a bit different from the previous three types in that they do not have marriage as an ultimate goal. They're not against marriage, mind you. They're not averse to marriage, but they're not as adamant as fulfilling this marriage goal as the other three types. Mm-hmm. So that's what makes them innovative because they're more accepting to alternative relationship arrangements, such as living together or like friendships, like platonic friendships, maybe a group of friends like taking care of each other if they don't find someone. They're not that worked up about finding someone. But it's more like happy-go-lucky. If they do, then great. If they don't, then fine. Okay, so what's most important for them is quality companionship and egalitarianism on all fronts. Okay, so for them, what matters most is not like administrative papers or anything, but it's more like the pure companionship of the relationship. So for them, it has to be the most ideal for them to fall into it, for them to pursue it. Okay, and for that, they if they want children, that's another different story, right? So they may not want relationship per se if it doesn't fulfill their ideals, but for children, they're willing to have it on their own, maybe to find an anonymous donor to have it with, or a male friend, or something, so that it could fulfill their like dream of having a child if they want one. Yeah, so they're innovative in that sense, in that they don't need like a marriage contract or a relationship to keep to for them to have children. Yeah, so they're willing to stay single too, if that's the lifestyle that suits them the best, and they don't want to accommodate anyone. Okay, so they're happy leading their single selves, except they're also very open-minded to to entering into a relationship if it fulfills their ideals in all areas of life. Okay, so the prototype that I uh, allocated this is Rachel Green and Friends because she had a relationship on and off with Ross, right? Her longtime beau, on and off for so many times within the 10 seasons you cannot count, right? And at the end, like they had a one night stand when they were drunk, and then she fell pregnant by him, right? And uh, after she realized that she was pregnant, she was like, "Oh, okay, I'm not gonna get rid of it because I would like to have a child at some point in my life, and the clock's ticking. And if I don't have it now, I'm worried that I'll never have it. So I'm gonna keep it, and I don't mind raising it on my own. I don't need to be in a relationship with Ross." To have it, right? So I have my village of friends, right? So the friends, obviously, I have my village to help me, and I don't need like one person or one marriage partner to help me with that, right? So she's willing to have it on her own and raise it on her own as a single mom. And of course, Ross can contribute like how he likes, but she's not expecting a marriage certificate from him. So yeah, that's innovative. So like she's the innovator within the four types. Okay, so now we've covered all of the four types, and you have a better understanding of them, and you can determine which type you are. And if you still have any like queries, like you're free to go onto Instagram to look at my prototypes to see which type you fit into. Okay, so I hope this like is a help for you, and not only for single women in search for a partner that fits your criteria, but also for married women who want to gauge if their arrangement with their spouses are suitable within, strategizing within their particular type. So as I said, like everyone has their type. It can be like a combination of two as well. So for instance, like I would categorize myself as traditionalist innovator. Right. So I could be a traditional in that like I view like traditional gender roles as what I pursue, is what I believe in. And I'm willing to scale back if my husband's a breadwinner. Yeah, I can, take a break from my career and I can raise my child, and while he focuses on his career, I'm okay with that. But I'm also innovative in the sense that I would not accept like another arrangement, and I don't mind like not finding someone. Like I would just stay single on my own if I couldn't find someone who fulfills like my criteria and my ideals. So like that makes me this and that, right? So for you as well, you could also be like interchangeable, like Lucy, who went from Satisficer to Maximizer to Satisficer again. Uh, and you can switch courses along your path as well after gaining a lot of experience in life, or gaining a lot of relationship experience. You might find that you are more suited to be another type, and you change courses along your life path. Okay, so yeah, it's important to know what type you are so you can better choose partners, and also have like a more fulfilling relationship with your spouse. Have a better understanding of what you want in a partner, and choose the right partner for you so that you don't feel like resentful or something like, oh, this is not what I signed up for, right? So you have to really ask yourself these questions if this is the type of relationship you want with your partner. And also for married people, they also can gauge whether this is like the arrangement has some room for improvements, or you're relating with your spouse. Like, is that reflecting your ideals in terms of your type, right? So you can always fine tune that as well. Okay, so it's important to know, to have like an understanding at least of like how you are, what you are, and your approach to relationships and marriage. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to another chat next week with you on Love and Life Sorted. Remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to go onto Instagram if you want to have, if you want to look at the four types, the four prototypes that I mentioned. Okay? Okay, bye.